Hello guys, today we're gonna look at some epic combos that will increase your chances of winning significantly. Okay, so this is the situation we're in. The first thing we're gonna look at is the freeze mage and the amount of power you can actually get from using this. So it's actually not a very good enemy when it comes to damage, with only 10 damage. But the big thing about the freeze mage is that if you get close enough, you can kind of lock the opponent. So if I freeze him, he's not going to be able to use his Viking to do anything for the next turn. So if I then end turn, and it becomes my turn again, as you can see, I am able to freeze him again, thus making his Viking completely useless, as long as I'm continuously standing there freezing him. So you might say that the freeze mage can be used to lock his opponent. The second thing I'm going to show you is quite different. So if I pull up the right unit, one of the most powerful combinations in the entire game is if you combine the Viking and the teleport. This is because the Viking is a very good character with 60 damage, which makes him able to kill almost every character in like 2 hits. But the problem with the Viking is his walk range. He's only able to walk 1 step at a time, which is very little. So instead of using all your actions just for moving him, he becomes a very strong character if you combine him with a teleport, which makes him able to teleport to another location and then attack. For example, traveling all this distance would have taken me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It would have taken me 12 actions, which is the same as 2 turns, and then I would have been able to attack once or twice. That's all. So combining the Viking and the teleport is amazing. Okay, so the situation that we're looking at right now is very usual. As you can see, I've got a Viking standing in my front lines, and he is about to die with only 10 HP left. They've got a ranged unit and an assassin, so even if I wasted all my actions, I would not be able to get him back. Now, you might say that it's useless to try to save a unit with 10 HP, but if you have a healer or something, it might be worth it. I don't know. The point is, in this situation, the teleport is really good, and it can be used on any kind of character that's low on HP or just in trouble. So just using the teleport to get away that's what you're doing. So I pull out my teleport and just put him on the other side of the screen, that's it. And yeah, that's really powerful, because now they can't attack me. So you always have to use your teleports carefully, because they're very powerful if you use them correctly. This is another very common situation. As you can see, my Viking is right here in the corner and he's about to die. I could always knock this guy back. Actually, I could kill him with a 1 hit, but that's not what I'm gonna do. That's not what I'm trying to show here. The point is, one kind of nifty trick that you can do is to first charm the enemy unit and then teleport him somewhere. And you're able to do this with any unit. So it's really powerful if the opponent has a unit that's very dangerous to you or something. So you're able to get away, essentially. The combination that I'm about to show you is kind of basic, but it's very useful. And if you use it correctly, it will deal a lot of damage. So first of all, you need to place your ice, and then you place a fire on top of that. And as you can see, it will deal 15 damage to any unit applying burn for 2 turns. So what we do is we just place him in there, place the fire on the unit, and as we can see, this unit's now both frozen and burning. And now we can just let time go on until the fire and the ice disappears, and you can see the character is still burning for 2 more turns after the fire is gone, and this will actually make him die. So you're effectively killing off quite a strong unit actually. So another thing that I think is really strong is the heavy unit. I'm going to show it right here. This is kind of unknown to some people, but the heavy has got an ability that you can activate once a turn. So if I press this button, he is going to activate his ability, which makes him stand in protective mode. And if I then if the opponent then tries to attack, he will take a lot less damage. So as you can see, he would have taken twice the amount of damage that he did, which is very strong. And this can be used quite effectively to make the opponent not be able to reach a specific character. Okay, so this is quite an advanced technique that I'm going to show you. And yeah, so what you're gonna do is, as soon as you get it, you're gonna place a gladiator on one spot. And the gladiator is kind of special because the damage is very low in the beginning, but will increase by 5 each time another unit dies. This makes him very bad the moment you place him, but if you continue to use him, he will get really good. So you're actually not gonna just use him all by himself, because that does not make him very useful. You're going to combine him with some other units. Now, one of the strongest units to combine him with is the Bandit King, because the Bandit King is also kind of special. Whenever this unit attacks, add a 10-15 bandits to your hand. Now, the point of all of this is not to make him die or anything. It's actually to try to use bandits. So, as you can see, he attacked, and I got 1 bandit from my deck. So if I now press enter again, I'm going to place my bandits. And once the opponent kills my bandit, which it's very easy to kill, this guy is his damage is gonna increase. So if I then enter again, now of course I want to attack both of these guys, and that's what I'm gonna do. And that means I can place 2 more of these guys. And once it's his turn, he is going to kill both of those guys that I just placed, which of course is going to make my gladiator stronger. And all of a sudden my gladiator is going to be strong as hell. And that's really strong. There's more that you can do. You can also use the bomber, which is quite don't think it's being used very often, but if I place it, as you can see, I can place it all over the map. So let's place him here. Now the bomber is also kind of special because he's not actually able to attack, but he's got an ability. He can blow stuff up, and he blows himself up. So if I press this button, you can see that he blows himself up, but you can also see that his damage increases. The gladiator's damage increases, making the gladiator stronger each time you use a bomb. And that's a really strong combo, especially in the later games. Especially if you let the gladiator sit around. The third is just a minor tip, but it's kind of useful at the same time. Healers can sometimes be underrated, but they are really strong. So my tip is to place the healers somewhere far away from the enemy, but at the same time close enough to heal all the characters. Now the attack range or the heal range is 3, which makes him just about able to heal the gladiator. Now the healing is also kind of strong, not because of it doesn't have very much healing, considering the amount of actions it takes, and considering that he's only able to heal 1 unit at a time, but he's able to overheal, which is kind of huge. So if I now heal him, heal the gladiator here, you can see his health bar is going above his usual health, with marked as yellow. And when the opposing archer is going to attack him, he first loses his over healing and then his usual healing. There's one thing that I forgot to mention that's really strong about the freeze mage. So if I give the turn to my opponent, he's going to place a warrior, and this warrior is going to try to go on top here. So he's going to place it there, and I can then use my freeze mage to lock his warrior in place. And this kind of freezing, as I said before, it's very strong because you're locking down the character, but it also makes him unable to walk through this path up here. So if he wants to get around, he has to go down here or in the middle. So what I'm trying to say is, the freeze mage is also an excellent way to block paths, since you can block their characters from moving. And the only way that if you want to get past this is if you knock his unit back. So let's say I can still knock the unit back even if it's frozen. That's one thing you have to consider, but he's not going to be able to move his own unit unless he uses the meteorite. Okay, so the next thing I think it's very overlooked in some situations is, let's say his warrior is standing right here behind these obstacles. There's one thing that many people don't actually think about. It's that all the mages, they're able to attack no matter if they can see the unit or not. So even if this unit is behind a stone, he's able to make his magic work even behind, so even through the stone, so you can still attack him from here. And that's very strong if you are playing on a level that uses, yeah. There's one more thing that's very strong that I really want to show you. It's the thug. Now this unit kind of itself is kind of strong, because he can attack so many times in a row. But he is even stronger if you combine him with a strength up. So this gives him 25 damage and unlimited attacks as long as you have actions, which makes him able to kill almost everything instantly. Or not almost everything, but a lot of things. So let's say we power him up twice. This is gonna give him 35 damage, which is insane. Now I can just keep on hitting, and I'll deal lots of damage. So the thug, combined with a strength up, it's very strong. The last thing requires me to change the map, so I'm just gonna do that. It has been loaded properly, yes. Okay, so I want to show off some of the capabilities of ranged units, because I think this is very often overlooked. I'm going to start off with just an archer. So if I place my archer here, as you can see, there's holes in the playfield right here, which makes the archer unable to walk here. And if it would have been a melee unit, it would have been like very hard for him to walk around, and in some cases impossible to attack a unit which is on the other side of a hole like this. But the thing about ranged units is that they're able to shoot through these holes. So even if there's a hole in between and he can't walk there, he's still able to shoot there. So he's kind of able to shoot above it, like this. And that's very strong. And you have to consider that in some situations, because it's very easy to forget. Now the other thing that I want to show you is the double catapult combo. So I'm just gonna place one catapult up here, and I'm going to place another one down here. Now this combination is extremely strong, because if you place them very spread out like this, your opponent is gonna have a hard time. First of all, he has to move a unit all the way over there, which is kind of far, and then he has to like mow them down with pure damage. While these units at the same time can just straight up attack on the other side of the playfield. Now, as you can see, there's a red crosshair in the middle, which means it deals more damage in the middle, but it still deals damage on the edges. So you have to consider if you want to deal a lot of damage to one character or more damage to many. So when you're aiming with this guy, you have to consider if you want to, let's say they're spread out like this, then you have to choose if you want to damage one unit or if you want to damage multiple units but a bit less. Well, that's it for us today. Thank you guys for watching. It's been insanely fun to share all these strategies and we love to think them up. If any of you got any fun strategies that you've thought up yourself, please share in the comments. Also, feel free to check out our website lowresviews.com and I'll see you in the next one.